Madame Marzella, a world-famous French circus performer, posing with her troupe of highly trained cockatoos. A horse-drawn wagon piled high with trunks and suitcases as Ardingly College boys prepare to head home for Christmas break in England, 1926. 6 members of a Wisconsin farm family milk a row of cows inside a dairy barn. A welder works on large galvanized steel ventilation ducts at a factory producing components for Liberty ships. A group of women sits on the floor preparing traditional foods and sweets, surrounded by large trays of ingredients and cooking utensils. Passengers crowd a narrow wooden platform as Wetterhorn cable cars glide above steep cliffs in Grindelwald, Switzerland. A busy beach filled with hundreds of traditional wicker beach chairs, known as strandkorby. A woman carries a large bundle of materials on her back in a minimalist composition that emphasizes structure, form, and geometry. A butcher shop in High Wycombe, England, displaying rabbits and poultry outside to advertise freshness and abundance, before refrigeration became common. A woman operating a traditional hand-push lawnmower, once a common tool in many households. Postal workers sorting huge piles of Christmas parcels at the Mount Pleasant sorting office in London. Fred Dibna, famed for dismantling factory chimneys, brick by brick, working at great heights with little or no modern safety equipment. A janitor sweeps ticker tape from the nice floor after the 1929 crash, following a chaotic trading day that ushered in the Great Depression. A dancer from the Margaret Morris troupe, performing in the style of British choreographer Margaret Morris, known for her system of natural movement. Nurses in white uniforms and caps push a large cart carrying multiple newborns down a corridor in a Soviet maternity hospital. ENIAC, the world's first general-purpose electronic computer, operated using thousands of vacuum tubes. A woman tends bird cages outside a traditional wooden caravan, likely belonging to a traveling circus troupe or a nomadic family. A staged Victorian-era scene created for entertainment, portraying a humorous and dramatic take on marriage and relationships in the late 19th century. Women sort and pack, produce along a long assembly line wearing protective aprons to maintain hygiene during processing. Toothy fashionable women sit in a steam shovel bucket on the Hollywoodland Hills during the construction of the Hollywoodland sign. Russian peasant women in traditional northern Russian clothing, wearing layered dresses and long skirts, often with headscarves. 2 zookeepers at Moscow Zoo care for a pelican. The woman holds a leather pouch under its beak, while the man opens the bird's bill for feeding or inspection. A Dutch baker stands at a doorstep, holding a basket of bread and a money bag at his side, exchanging payment with customers outside his home. A child sleeps in a Christmas-decorated Anderson shelter in Ilford, Essex, with holiday ornaments including a Merry Christmas bell resting beside a doll. A kerosene vendor using a homemade barrel cart to transport and sell oil. A large shipment of bananas being transported by truck, illustrating agricultural harvesting activity in Brazil. Children kneel in prayer before bedtime, accompanied by a loyal dog. Maintenance worker Stan Giddings painting the Sydney Harbour Bridge during routine upkeep. Everyday street maintenance in the Soviet Union. A woman in a white apron sweeps the street with a long broom while a worker emerges from a manhole below. A chimney sweep climbs a tall chimney, carrying his tools on his back, including a large bundle of brushes used for cleaning. A propeller-driven monorail, designed to move along a single rail using fan propulsion, developed in Paris, France from 2- and 5-seat prototype cars. A woman stands on a stainless steel eagle gargoyle atop the Chrysler Building in New York, photographing the city below in a daring pose. St. John Ambulance Service in occupied Guernsey, with ambulances and staff operating during a difficult wartime period. Women assemble Martin B-26 bomber parts at Hudson Plant, Detroit. Woo-wee. One wears a Hudson logo shirt, highlighting women's role in wartime production. An outdoor market in Newport, Wales, showing a lively UK weekend scene with stalls selling second-hand clothes and cheap household goods. 3 women at South Metropolitan Gas Works, London, carry coke in heavy sacks, wearing protective workwear. Lion Gate at Mycenae, Greece, with archaeologists and visitors gathered around the ancient ruins. A soldier stands near large stacks of tires at a U.S. supply depot. The llama named Linda, a television star, is returning home after filming at ABC Studios in New York. An unexpected moment at a train station. A man from inside a train splashes water onto a woman standing on the platform holding luggage nearby. Traditional lit clothes enclosed box bed in rural Europe, used for warmth, privacy, and protection from household animals such as pigs and chickens. Pont Neuf Bridge in Paris, with the statue of Henri IV located on Ile de la Cité below. Chicago street scene, 1941, showing local businesses including a dentist, law office, beauty salon, and barber shop. A psychiatric hospital scene depicting outdated medical treatments, including hydrotherapy baths, as portrayed in the film Valley of the Dolls. Residents at the Charles F. Harding, row houses in Bronzeville, Chicago, known for their distinctive architecture and ornate iron railings on stone steps. 3 boys gather on the street, closely reading a small newspaper together. 2 women enjoying Venice Beach, California, in 1920s style one-piece swimsuits, with amusement structures visible in the background. 2 women in traditional Scheveningen Dutch dress stand by large wooden barrels at a harbor holding herring, a local specialty. Crowds perform a traditional circle dance during the Krasnaya Gorka Spring Festival in Ust-Silma village, Komi Republic, Russia, celebrating renewal and good fortune. Workers paving cobblestone streets in Paris. A group in early 20th century attire rides a 10-seat bicycle with multiple pedals and chains. Members of a women's basketball team pose for a commemorative group photo. Large-scale storage of hollow metal buoys used to support anti-submarine nets, protecting U.S. harbors from enemy submarines, neatly stacked in a depot. French roadworkers repair the pavement and spread hot asphalt along the famous Boulevard Haussmann in Paris. Manual harvesting of crops in a vast agricultural field. Michigan logging industry, brag load, showing a massive stack of timber piled high on a sled, representing a record lumber haul in forestry work. Boys from Battersea, London, assist with the harvest on a farm in Buckinghamshire. A Sicilian street performer in Italy plays as a one-man band, wearing a bell-covered hat and operating a bass drum, accordion, and other instruments at once. A human-powered treadwheel crane used to lift heavy construction materials, operated by people walking inside large wheel-like cages to drive a pulley system. A blacksmith, farrier, works in his workshop inspecting metal bars, with numerous horseshoes hanging on the walls around him. A woman drinks from a bottle during a break on the noisy floor, standing in front of large chalk boards where stock prices are updated by hand. A 19th-century London chimney sweep, believed to bring good luck, wearing a tall hat and soot-covered clothes, carrying ladders and chimney brushes. Chinese workers building the Transcontinental Railroad hung from Sierra Nevada cliffs to place explosives and dig tunnels, facing avalanches, rockfalls, and blasts. 60 Workers installing a Greek Ionic column at the Civil Courts building in St. Louis, Missouri. A Pelton wheel, an impulse water turbine invented by Lester Allen Pelton, uses cup-shaped buckets to split water jets and capture their energy efficiently. A humorous moment showing a child hiding beneath his mother's skirt or dress. Two fishermen pull in a net from a small boat on Lake Bangweulu, Zambia, hauling a catfish caught in the mesh from the water. A handmade sign at Turner Memorial AM Church lists the schedule for Sunday school, sermons, and evening prayer services. Two people engaged in conversation on a sidewalk in Chicago, Illinois. An undercover police officer disarms a razor-wielding attacker during an Irish Unity parade in Glasgow, Scotland. Students working in community school gardens in The Hague, Netherlands. Children of mill workers eating watermelon on the porch of their rented home in Person County, North Carolina. Two people ride specially designed bicycles built to travel on railroad tracks in Pellston, Michigan, USA. Two boys sleep in the Sun newspaper press room in New York, believed to be homeless newsboys or newsies, resting between shifts. A flower vendor stands in front of the Vienna State Opera in Vienna, Austria. Members of the Staten Island Tennis Club pose with their classic wooden tennis rackets. The Harvard Lampoon Building, known as the Lampoon Castle, in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Guests at an O'Dowd social club dinner at the Robin Hood Inn, with men in bow ties or neckties and women in period dresses. A mechanical therapy device by Swedish physician Gustav Zander, using weights, levers, and springs to improve muscle balance, joint function, and overall health. Students practice driving on Drivrainer simulators, seated in mock cars equipped with steering wheels, pedals, and basic instrument panels. Children line up outside the Pomeranian Apartments in Chicago, Illinois, where a sign advertises furnished apartments with free gas and electric light. Henry C. Taylor, a Chicago menswear store specializing in men's clothing and accessories. A peaceful family scene featuring a man in a straw hat and suit, a woman in a wide-brimmed hat, and children dressed in sailor-style clothing. Cologne Cathedral in Germany, still unfinished, with a medieval construction crane standing atop its south tower. An elderly woman and a small child stand among ruins in post-war Poland, with laundry hanging on a line stretched between broken walls. Japanese actress Mizuhara Reiko, a well-known film star of the Showa era, holding a vintage film camera on a beach. A fish vendor at a Dutch street market while a man eats herring in the traditional way, holding it by the tail and eating it whole. A migrant family rests in a covered wagon in winter France. A mother and her children pause in the snow while a dog interacts with one of the children at the back. A boy holding a newborn lamb in Scotland, reflecting the bond between humans and animals and the innocence of rural life. A woman sells fruit from a makeshift table near the Colosseum in Rome, Italy, in the late 19th century. A woman stands on an open-air 86th floor observation deck in New York as strong winds blow, lifting her dress in a sudden gust. The happy young Felumlee couple smiling in 1941, 3 years before they got married. An elderly woman operates a wooden spinning wheel. She lived over a century, born in 1815 and passing sometime after 1920. A young man with his dog, reflecting a close bond between humans and pets.